In fact, well, I mean, I'll be kind of be like double recording. And so like technically right now we're on the stream, but I'm trying to get my see my show open video lined up. And good morning everybody that's on the stream. We're gonna do our show open here in just a couple seconds as soon as I get this video downloaded. But I got Carlos Arzate. I'm getting close, Carlos. It's only been a decade. Carlos Arzate.
Oh, you got it.
Yeah, no shit. The third time.
So I have it on camera.
Carlos Arzate, and it was well, now you get like the ghost notes, but it was the kind souls. Yeah. See, I know a thing or two about Carlos. Jesse's joined him as well. But we're gonna be chatting it up and jamming with Carlos and Jesse. He just released a brand new album called Through Lines, which I'm gonna be excited to share some of the songs here on both this station and the station up in Phoenix and Flagstaff, KWSS. So we're gonna have a lot of fun here on the podcast. I got about 30 seconds or so before I get my show open set up with Kendall, and we'll be rocking and rolling. But till then, make sure you get all those comments popping in there.
Can you say his last name one more time for me?
Well, if you say it fast and confident.
Just say the letter R and then Zate.
Yeah, Arzate.
Boom.
I mean, I know how to spell it.
What Arzate?
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
That's his name,
but
bro.
I know, but
what is yours?
Like
It's Basque.
Basque?
Yeah.
What is
Northern Spain.
Oh, okay.
Get close to that microphone
'Cause
because
to
we're
me-
on the stream. Yeah.
To me, it almost, or at least the way Beef was saying it, sounded like Japanese. And I'm
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
don't think that's.
Oh. Well, he's the tallest Japanese man I've ever met, dude. You know?
I grew up thinking I was the tallest Mexican. And then I've come to find out I'm not even Mexican.
You're not even
I'm
Mexican?
like Spanish through Mexico, obviously growing up.
Yeah.
Like I'm Mexican.
Right.
I really don't even have I feel like I'm indigenous to the desert, but I'm like from different places,
Yeah. Well, you're just snoring to me, That's how I do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's get our show open going, and we'll have more with Carlos and Jesse right after this. Let's go.
Ooh, got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan Presents live at Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com on this beautiful Wednesday, July 2nd. Good morning, Kendall.
Good morning.
And good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We got a great show lined up for you today on this Wednesday. Only 2 days left in a week before we go into a cool down 4th of July weekend, which we're excited about, even though our monsoon sucks ass.
Yeah, it's definitely very sad. It's bumming me out.
I know.
That dust storm was very strange the other night. That was monsoon-esque.
Yes. I know. It's brutal. It's been drier than, a loveless relationship on anniversary night. And, eventually, hopefully we get some moisture here over the next couple days. We'll see what happens. But, we're still gearing up for that. And then it's still going to be under 100 degrees. So that's going to be nice. Anything that's under 100 is great weather here in the old Pueblo. We're going to have our good friend, my good friend, Carlos Arzate. I always butcher his name in the podcast broadcast a little bit later on. He just released a new album. He's a fantastic musician. I think you're going to dig him.
Oh, I'm excited.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we're keeping an eye on all the updates of, the Diddy trial.
Say my name, come on. The D, the Y, the D is Diddy.
Whenever I say Diddy, then this just automatically plays. But yes, yesterday, the jury came to a verdict of 4 of 5 charges. But then the judge was like, you guys get back in that room and you deliberate until you give me the charge I need to stick against Diddy to stick against Diddy. And that's what happened. So right now, after 12 hours of deliberation, the panel of 12 jurors, which is 8 men and 4 women, decided 4 of the 5 counts, okay? And they decided on 2 sex trafficking charges and 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, okay? And these are all just technical ways to say, hey, I had sex on a plane. Also, I saw a lot of memes yesterday. A lot of people don't know this, but it's illegal to share drugs with people. It's illegal to have drugs, but then even more importantly, when you're
that makes sense, right? If it's illegal to have them, it's illegal to share them.
Yeah,
I think that
a lot of people don't know that. That was one of the many charges, issued against Diddy, is his generosity of drugs, namely pink cocaine and Molly and liquid
Wait, what's
everything.
pink cocaine?
Again, you're not in that tax bracket, so I could explain it to
It's
you. But
like the Himalayan cocaine, like
the
Himalayan
salt?
pink
Yeah.
salt cocaine.
it's high quality.
Okay.
Just like if you look at your salt and you're like, that salt is pink. It's probably tastes better. It might be better for you. I think the same goes for cocaine, apparently. But yes, also in court yesterday, Diddy tried to comfort his mom, who was seated directly behind him, he's had weird relationships with as well. He reportedly whispered to her, "It'll be all right, love you," while thumping his chest like Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street.
Mm.
Yeah. He also said some quietly to his 6 children, but basically we're just kind of keeping an eye out on when the jury will come back with a final verdict for the 5th and final charge. That charge is the RICO charge. Now, if he is found guilty on all 5 of these charges, he could face up to life in prison. All right. But I am of the firm belief that he's just going to get pardoned anyways. We live in a weird world where, the rich don't play by the same rules as everybody else. And I feel like he's thrown enough parties with enough influential people, maybe one person in particular, that might give him a certain pardon when it's all said and done. So we'll see if this was all for nothing, big waste of taxpayer money, a reason to go after him. Who knows, right? In fact, I'm actually disappointed by this entire trial, Kendall, because none of it had to do with the deaths of the Notorious B.I.G. or Tupac.
Which you think he was affiliated with? Is that what you're saying?
The streets, and it's not me. The streets believe that Diddy was behind both of those assassinations. So it's a possibility. And if the streets talk and they say Diddy did it, then,
Done did it.
Then it sounds like he did it. And unrelated Tupac news, I was just reading a report today that just reconfirmed that when Tupac died, his mom got all of Tupac's friends together and rolled his ashes up in blunts, and then they smoked his ashes as like a ceremonial way to get high with Tupac one last time.
That's nice.
Would you want that with your friends?
I think I would want that. Not all my friends would want to do that, though.
Right.
Okay,
so what would some of your friends want to do? Like, you incorporate your ashes in what? Like some wine bottles, maybe like a happy hour?
No, there's no happy hour.
A charcuterie board?
It could be maybe more like mixed into some sort of butter concentrate, made into some sort of sweet treat, and then digested.
Okay.
An edible is what I'm getting at.
Like an edible, but without the high, right? So like,
you gotta
all
add
Kendall,
the
none of the
THC
buzz.
in.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So they'll eat you to get high.
I want them to talk to my ghost.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to be able to communicate.
Like in how high? I get the reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a lot to get to today. It's going to be a fun show, a lot of fun stuff to cover. Your Morning Moron is going to be happening after music from Linkin Park. Of course, we're giving away those tickets for Offspring. We still have that. That's going to be around 8:10 this morning. And before that, I'm going to give you a keyword so you can fly yourself to Nashville, Tennessee. So a lot of fun reasons to stick around this morning. You can give us a shout if you want to say what's up. Phone lines are open. But before that, we'll kick things off with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Here's Scar Tissue on Rock 102.1 KFMA. 1 KFMA. Welcome back, Beefy. Exactly. That's I was telling a story here. We're going to get on the air to do a little tease. All right. See, Desert Galaxy said, I once passed the blunt at KFMA Day and watched it continue getting past, disappeared into the crowd. That's the way you start a party, though. And that's how you do it at KFMA Day for sure. All right, there you go. That was Hardy with Jim Bob on Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's Beef Vegan Presents, and we're live on the podcast broadcast. We're going to have a good one here on this Wednesday morning. A good friend and Tucson legend. I'm just throwing out the L word, and I mean it. I know the humility and the humbleness of Carlos Arzate, it will shine through. He'll call himself a legend, but that's where I come in. And he just released a new album called Through Line. So him and Jesse are in studio on the podcast broadcast. We're going to catch up with Carlos. We're going to do some live performances here on the podcast broadcast as well, and talk up a lot of different things. Hell, you got your family business, right? Your landscaping company's still going well. So I'm going to shout that out as well, because you've been doing some beautiful work.
Well, thank you.
I love it when you post like these kind of like backyard remodel makeovers that you do, because it's an extension of your art.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go into these projects, you get hired, you're like, yeah, I want to create a paradise in your backyard.
Yep.
Yeah. Is your backyard like Mr. Miyagi's backyard in Karate Kid?
It's funny you should say that. Yeah. It is. There's different elevations, and it's really cool. It's set up for parties for sure.
Yeah. All right.
But just replace all like the water plants with like desert type plants.
Yeah.
Succulents and
It's like desert lush is what we call it. We have a big ancient olive tree in our backyard, and like I kind of designed all around it.
That sounds beautiful.
I'm telling you, I mean, he's an artist on every like level of it. So, and this new album is beautiful as well. It's called Through Line. It's available everywhere you stream, and we're going to be featuring some of that. So you can join us youtube.com/pvegan, but more with Carlos right after The Emptiness Machine by Linkin Park, Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. All right, so that was our little tease, and we squeeze that in there. Yeah. In fact, actually, I should pull up your Instagram to see. Do you have any pictures on your Instagram recently of your backyard? I'd have to go deep.
No, I have never. I don't think I've ever shared any of them.
Yeah, you like to be low key. What about your business? Do you have a business Instagram?
Oh yeah.
Okay, what is it called?
Arzate Design Group. Arzate Design Group.
All right.
You know what you're missing is the old classic cars that are rusted under the.
And get that microphone close to you and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
You're missing the 55 Chevy under the tarp.
Right.
I tried to do a photo shoot once with a photographer. There was a 57 Chevy out there. It was beautiful. But when I got in it, none of the pictures came out because I looked like this, and every one of them I was all squashed.
You're too big for it. Yeah.
And even standing next to it, it looked like a toy car. Like it was like.
What's your official height, by the way? 6'5"?
6'4".
6'4"?
Yep.
Are you shrinking?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So 6'4" was your peak, but then as we get older, we're gonna end up like shrinking.
Maybe I'll finish out at 6'2". Hopefully, I'll keep my posture and core good, so I can stand up tall.
Yeah.
Time,
to be able to stretch it out. Yeah. So 6'4". Yeah. Giant of a man here, and yeah. So this is Carlos's.
That's so cool. You could just pull that up like that.
Yeah, we could see a lot of stuff. So even
this is
music
what I'm
videos.
not savvy at. Like we could be way bigger. Our company could be way bigger because of the quality and thoughtfulness we put in our projects.
Yes.
But I'm terrible. I mean, that could be the same true for music, honestly. I'm terrible at promoting it properly.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's what you got to do is, well, you have kids now, and your kids are kind of getting in that age. I mean, your son is in a band. We'll talk about that. But I mean, you have daughters and everything that are reaching that, like 18, 19, 20 and going to college. So they are trained in social media. They're all social media pros. So at one point you're going to be like, hey, you got to help your pops out and the business out. Yeah. Like let's showcase some of this stuff and post it up for me. And do that.
Here's some budgets or something like that.
Yeah. And do it for, I don't know, all the times I fed you dinner. You know what I mean?
Good luck with that one, man.
I know. Well,
I love my kids. We're not in any conflict at all.
No, I know. And they're good kids too. But at the same time, yeah, like they're the ones that should be your kind of
support.
Yeah, consultants, social media consultants, and helping that out.
We have to have a family dinner and talk about that. I never wanted like the music or anything that I do to be a burden to anybody. I wanted it to just like we grew up with this idea that it could just catch fire.
Yeah,
but it takes a big team to make it really work.
So
we realize it now.
You see it more like a passion than a business. It's like you don't have that mentality of like let's make this huge. It's like no, I just want to love and nurture this.
I just want to be an artist.
Yeah,
I came into this industry because I was in music before this industry, and I had I got my girlfriend, who's my wife now, for 20 years, pregnant. So we needed to have like a real income outside of just gigging and living at night all the time.
Right.
So that's how I got into that. And it was just pools at one time, and then that expanded, and then I learned about the sun and learned how to live with the desert. And now I have a niche. I have clients seek me out for a thoughtful take on what kind of lifestyle they're trying to live outside.
Yeah, and it's beautiful too. So we got Carlos Arzate in studio, and he just released a new album with his new act, which is Carlos Arzate and the Ghost Notes. The album's called Throughline. But before we even talk music, another part of his creative endeavors is something just landscaping, making Tucson beautiful in backyard. So Arzate Design Group is the Instagram page that I got pulled up here. And showcasing this, and this story too is great because I mean you got your wife pregnant, your girlfriend at the time, right?
And I love
as
the
a
accountability that you said in that statement.
Stepped up, and it's
you really stepped up.
And he's like, like this is the one, and I'm not gonna stop at one kid. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to be able to feed a bunch of mouths. So I gotta make some money. So still while pursuing and never putting his all into creating music, also built the business, and it just happens to be one that is very artistic as well, because you're creating these like backyard landscapes that are 100% like modern day art, just like architecture is, right? Like a Frank Lloyd Wright was an artist, and just building structures that would last forever. But you also, when you started building this, you learned about the desert, what's sustainable, and then how to incorporate what is uniquely Sonoran desert into the landscape that you provide.
Dude, you summed it up perfectly, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah.
It really is, and you see it in everything that you do here. So, it started with you building pools. So you're building pools, and
Which I still do.
Yeah. And then full-blown landscapes on top of that, with the waterfalls on top of everything else. What's the biggest pool that you had to do, and how long did it take you to build that?
It took like a year to build.
Really?
And it was like there's a couple that year that were just gigantic. One was like 80 feet long by 10 feet wide. It's just a big.
What's the size of an Olympic pool? Is it like a Olympic size? 80 feet long? That seems
meters or something like that. But I mean, I don't do a lot of commercial projects. It's residential projects.
Yeah. So that's a residential pool that's like 80 feet long. Yeah.
These runs are more common these days, just smaller body water for chilling and just like entertaining.
Right.
And it's basically taking their indoor lifestyle outside.
Okay. So that's kind of the angle of people asking.
You've been to a resort and you open your back bedroom door and the resort is just right there. Or there's like a little pool. There's just like a kitchen or something like that. We're doing that here. On every project. So when people meet me, I interview with them, they interview with me in the meeting, and then I can create a one-of-a-kind design for them, but they'll hire me, they'll pay me to create the concept before we're like doing any kind of building or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so I get to satisfy the creative in me, and I get to keep making money that can support our family in the meantime.
Yeah, that's
outside
huge.
of the construction projects that we actually do.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Yeah, you see it, and it's so great too. So to be able to capture that, like Arzate Design Group is the Instagram page. Like I said, you guys got to check it out, give it a follow, and then look through. Like as we're looking through on the podcast broadcast, you're seeing these designs, and it's gonna give you backyard envy, and it might even give you some ideas of what you would want to do to kind of step up your backyard game. But yeah, it makes sense that it's kind of like that resort luxury, and people just want to kind of be able to sit and cool off and like drink and hang out with friends, and that's kind of like the new design. Plus, you're not wasting too much water with like an oversized pool, right?
Right.
Yeah,
yeah. I kind of caution against that, and if we do have to do something big, we're doing some sort of mitigation plan to try to offset what they're using in some way,
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. All right. Well, yeah, that's enough of me geeking out on the architecture and the skill work that Carlos offers. We're talking music here on the podcast broadcast, so we're going to go through a little bit of Throughline, which is a brand new full-length album from Carlos Arzate and the Ghost Notes. Do you have any like album release shows, or you got any gigs coming up in support of this? Because this is a beautiful album, 10 tracks. From beginning to end. So yeah, what do you got to kind of celebrate the work and the release of this?
yeah. So when the vinyl's ready for it, we will actually we'll set up a show. We haven't booked the spot yet because we haven't got the vinyl date yet, but it's going to be like 6 to 8 weeks from now.
Okay.
So end of summer, early fall. And that'll give people plenty of time to have listened to it, and folks that want to come out and see us do our thing. I mean, the goal would be to play that record straight through. I just love how how we put it together, and everything's intentional. It's like a full listen.
Yeah, we just did a list of all the cool things that are in like vinyls that people are releasing, right? So
Right.
did you have an option to be able to put anything in a vinyl? And if you did, what would you put in that would be uniquely like
Oh, you mean like art related or in the vinyl itself?
Like straight up in the vinyl.
Say like Hail Satan backwards or something like
no,
that?
no, 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 no. Like,
Subliminal messages.
yeah, like there's some people who put in like we did a story that like what Tupac's mom and friends smoked his ashes when he died, right?
I
So
think-
like his ashes in the vinyl
Oh,
and things like
Or
that.
I think blood. People have been using blood.
a lot of blood,
putting in,
blood.
You know,
Mm.
Yeah,
maybe
a lot
your
of body
tears.
fluids. Yeah.
Is that an upgrade? Because
Yeah, I think it is. I think for the limited release, you should bottle some like Sonoran Rain.
Yeah, I mean, because
some rain.
It'll be a short run.
Yes.
That's a great idea, man.
Well,
Maybe grind up some Palo Santo and put it in there or something like that.
yes, to make
sounds
it
really
uniquely.
cool.
I know. Oh, look, you know me. I'm an idea
Well,
guy.
it's the ghost notes, so it's kind of eerie already, like you're thinking, you know that feeling when you go out camping and you find yourself alone with the wilderness.
Yeah.
And you just kind of get reconnected to the earth, and you just like can feel like the ancientness of things, how old things are, and you kind of get scared a little bit.
Yeah.
That's represented in that name, the ghost notes, like the ghosts are in there. So I think burning something would be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe grinding it up, because we would burn Palo Santo,
Yeah. Okay. And then it would have that in the vinyl
Yeah,
for the release.
I don't think about the blood.
Sacrifice a snare drum. The ashes in there.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're going to more. We're hanging out here, going to get ready for some live performances. You could join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, as we're live on the podcast broadcast, but we'll be back after music from Saving Abel on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear.
That's really cool.
Yes.
That's a great idea.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm an idea man. That's what I do. I throw out ideas. But yeah, we just did this list, and it's like so many different things. And I'm sure that, especially with a limited run, I'm sure you'd be able to do it without it being too expensive. But that's kind of like a new thing that's kind of growing in popularity.
Put the spirit in there.
Yeah. How do you make a vinyl even more uniquely you? And, I've always, described you as the sound of the Sonoran Desert, right? Like it embodies it. And you'll hear this in some of the tracks that we'll play. So, yeah, to incorporate that just makes sense to me. Now,
Maybe creosote.
yeah.
That would be really cool.
Creosote.
Yeah.
Now, so you changed from the kind souls to the
Yeah.
ghost
Yeah.
notes, so what is the difference beyond the players? Like, are all the players different in this band as opposed to the kind souls?
Did you ever play in the Kind Souls? Maybe some live shows?
Initially, and like on
Yeah.
a couple of live shows once in a while.
Initially, before you got fired and then
Oh, it, was
rehired?
it wasn't like that. It was more of getting tired of playing with me or something.
I don't know.
There's a fundamental difference and not in the way we work together or anything like that, because everybody's cool,
Yeah.
to work with. But this one came out of that. We did that 24-hour race, mountain biking. I knew I needed to get like in shape. I hadn't been exercising, and in your 40s, you start breaking down. Like stuff
Mhm.
starts happening. So that was a fun activity that Jesse got me into, and then we ended up booking a team to do the 24-hour race, and I'm like, I could ride a bike, no problem. But it was
Is
a
it
really
24-hour race? Is it like
Yeah, you
for
just-
24 straight hours? Then
you have a team of people, and you have to do a 16 or 17-mile lap, and how many you can do in 24 hours as a team.
Wow.
So there wasn't like a goal amount of miles. It
No,
was
it's
just
more
the
of a
most
hang,
you can
do, accomplish it at that time. Yeah, we weren't going there to win.
Yeah.
It's more of
I
a
think a lot of people that go there do have a goal. We
Right.
were more going there to be like, we're going to do a couple laps,
But
and
we're
we're
gonna
going to hang
party.
out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
And
still
we
get to
partied.
party and do
we,
shifts?
We partied that Friday night, the night before the race. I got really, really sick.
Do you not sleep during a 24-hour race?
Yeah, you find times to sleep depending
Okay.
on how many laps.
Is
you
it
do.
like a rotation kind of thing? So say you're going to go around for a while you like take a nap and
Right.
everything.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow. And that's
But-
here?
That's it.
That's
Yep.
here.
That's in
Willow
Springs.
Willow Springs Road.
Oh shit. Okay.
There are a lot of serious, awesome people at this. Like
Oh,
teams
yeah.
of two people
Yeah.
that do that rotation.
It's a big event.
Is it
Yeah.
considered
Yeah.
like an ultra marathon type or not? I guess
Has
or
to
not.
be, right?
Yeah, because there's some
Yeah.
single athletes that can do like 20 laps
Yeah.
in 24
They're doing
hours. or
like
something
300 plus miles.
Woo!
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the serious bikers come to this town, right? I
Yeah.
mean, this is
Well,
a
Tucson's
serious
great.
bike town. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're really lucky to have all the trails that we can ride here. We wish Mount Lemmon would be a little more developed in the trails,
Right.
especially what is it called, Ski Valley?
Ski Valley.
Yeah, that place right now is dead. They're just running the gondola for people to just take a view, but we could ride that whole hill. That could be
You
good.
could.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, when you say we, don't include me on that
Well,
shit.
so we come along with
I
that.
could watch you on a gondola, like, keep going, bro.
Hey, we could take you out. We should take you out one day on our chill rides.
Yeah. I mean, I'll chill. You know, I'll be at the Beyond Bread drinking beer,
Or
Hey,
eating a
stand
sandwich.
on the pegs.
Hey,
Yeah.
So at this 24-hour race, we partied. Like you run into people there the night before. There's a thing called the whiskey tree there. Like we had our bouts with that. And by the time it came time to ride the next day, I was like bent out of shape, like really sick.
Yeah, just hungover sick or
very, very, very hungover,
yeah.
like
We
terribly hungover.
More beer than electrolytes for sure.
Yeah.
That whole day, I was like in a hangover coma, and the music was playing all day, and the sound track was dope. Like it was so good. Every song after song was just the right song. And I was like, who's running the show here? And it was Bill, who's our drummer in the Ghost Notes.
Okay.
And I was like, man, Bill, I was like a little surprised, like, dang, dude, like your knowledge of music is deep. Like I like all this stuff you're playing. I love all this stuff. And he's like, awesome. So we're just talking. And it was, conversation came up as like, well, I'm not playing. I haven't been playing, or because I released the record during COVID, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
With that. And then the people I was playing with before, they're all busy. They're always playing all the time. Getting a band together is really cumbersome. And then with the business, it just didn't make a lot of sense. The best use of my time. And
Yeah.
Bill was like, well, let me know when you want to jam. And I was just like, right on, dude, like tomorrow. And he shows up on Monday with a drum set, and we set it up in my office. And Jesse, Bill, and I, we start jamming with my son Brandon.
Yeah.
We bring Brandon in on the bass, and we start putting these songs together. You know, I did have a backlog of songs that I was kind of getting inspired by from that experience, and then the trip to the Grand Canyon I took that following that same year in July.
You do have a soup pie? You did that whole
I've
thing?
never done it. No.
Oh, okay.
We went down the river for like 180 miles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My son and I.
Nice.
We graduated, but this was all kind of part of the journey.
Yeah.
And in that trip, like it really kind of started sobering me up to the idea of like being earnest in writing again, and like capturing these songs. And we've been writing and working on these songs since then. And, you know, it's come together like that, you know. So that's different from like with the Kind Souls. It was, they were helping me put these songs together back then, but we weren't all going on a mountain bike ride together. You know, we were like showing up for the rehearsals and then doing the shows, which was awesome memories and stuff like this. But Jesse over here is a amazing mountain bike rider, and it's like improved me so much as a result. And so like our whole community is kind of rising physically, and as a result, it's kind of cool. You know?
Nice. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a through line that we found in the mountain biking community, a through line that I found in Grand Canyon, like, the importance of water in my own life, what it means to me, in my profession. Like it's all related.
Yeah. So through line is then, but that's a river then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like these are through my veins are through lines.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're on the mountain bike hitting the trail, there's many lines you could take. Which one is the through line?
Oh, okay.
Also, I had known Bill for I've been working with him. I've been playing in bands. We do a thing in Jay's usually around Halloween, and so that sort of parallel river, you know, once it finally meets, was great to have that connection with the 24-hour race, because he's already known Bill, and that solidarity was just sort of already there, and now they can transfer that over to music.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's just extended family in a way, and it's like, yeah, then we're just gonna sync up. So is it a 3-piece now, 4-piece? Is Brandon still playing bass in your band?
No, Brandon. We ended up hiring Adam Block to play bass, which is also an engineer that works with these cats right here. So it's
Nice.
back into the family. He was actually at that 24-hour race with his girlfriend, which was really cool. But he's such a cool cat and perfect addition.
Yeah.
Brandon started focusing more of his time with his band, All Yours, which is doing awesome right now. So we're at the core of 4-piece.
Yeah.
And then we add peripherally, we have Miguel Melgoza, which is a musician in town that does percussion for us, depending on the show. And then Ryan Wheelis, who's a great up and coming musician here in Tucson, jazz player, sax, keys, but he plays keys with us.
Nice.
And he's all over this
just to
record
fill
too.
it out. Okay. Yeah. So all throughout
Mhm.
the lots of instrumentation all over the record.
Right.
Yeah. And can you hear this in the background? Do I have it too low? I believe I'm playing.
No.
I'm just saying for the streamers.
No.
Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. Well, we're going to get ready for live performance and stuff as well. And then, yeah. And then I got to play your boy's music too. Because I've been trying to get him in a studio too. I just had vacation and stuff. Yeah, we'll get him on there soon. Which is the second generation. This is Arzate. He's doing pretty good. Arzate.
Can you
Yes.
say domo
Ah.
arigato before and after that?
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
well, when
That's hard,
Carlos and I, we go way back. So Carlos would come up from Tucson to my house in Glendale to be on KWSS and promote his shows up there.
Great
And
experience.
yeah, my favorite Tucson musician for many years. So, and I would always ask him. I'd ask him typical Phoenix stuff like, "What's the weather like down there?" And all this, all this. Is it different? What's going on? Do people get shot? I'm like, no, man, it's like Arizona. Yeah, he gave me lots of information and a heads up on Tucson years before it became a possibility.
Do you remember this? Is this factual? Telling the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I've been he's been working hard for many years, and when the opportunity came up here in Tucson, we were really excited for him.
Yeah.
You had to do that show with
Fuckface, yeah.
Homeboy.
I did that for a while. Well, at first it was Schmonty, which was cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Schmonty was super nice and cool, and he was a fan. And then
From the Midwest.
he went back to DC. Yeah. So, or he moved to DC because he's got a doctor wife who works for the government. So she got a job, and it's too much money. And she's like, "All right, you got to stop playing radio. It's time for us to go."
Does he have a podcast now?
He can't even do that because he's working Merrill Lynch, right?
Oh,
so
gotcha.
he's a financial advisor.
Cool.
And the way that company rolls is if you say anything that is slightly a liability, you're donezo, right? So they're like, don't even podcast. He misses it though. I talk to him I don't know, once every couple months just to catch up.
Seemed like a cool guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. Yeah, and then I had to do the fuckface run for 3 years, and then this is our 4th anniversary of doing a show on this one.
Congrats.
Yeah,
man.
thanks. Yeah. And it's starting to, studio's starting to look like the living room all over again.
It has Kenny Simmons vibes all over. Man.
Yeah.
That's our boy Kenny, man. It's just like what he would set up.
Yeah. It's all about mood lighting and everything else. And honestly, I was telling you before we got this podcast started, it's about to look a lot better. They're, the engineers are stepping up, and they want to try to turn this into a legitimate, TV studio of sorts. So, the fact that I got the company backing me, finally, and fans of me, it took years.
Yeah.
Years.
I mean, it all adds up, right?
Yeah.
Every success and failure is adding up to a pile of eventual success.
Yeah. That's where we're at, dude. Yeah. So,
did you ever hear of our band American Android? We released music last year. That was from 2008 and 2012. Jesse used to play in that band as well with me, and then he also played with me all the way back to Innisfail, which was my first band in Tucson in 2001.
Yeah,
after during 9/11, right?
American Android, Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Hanging out here with Carlos Arzate, Jesse from Carlos Arzate, and the Ghost Notes. They just released a new album called Throughline that you could stream everywhere. But I'm looking up American Android because I did not.
I love that name.
Yeah. And that sounds like, what is that? More like an electric kind of act. Did you have that on? Because these are all songs from 2008. So I want to see here.
It was like a violent melodic rock.
Is that on Spotify too or no?
It's on Spotify. Yeah, we put it out on 9/11 last year.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to laugh.
No, yeah.
9/11.
I mean, it's a big questions. I mean, you see how powerless we really are. We're just kind of silent partners in this government, and we back then we had a lot less to lose, so our mouths flapped a little more. But man, the music is technically sound. We never quite fit in with anybody. We would always get booked with really heavy bands or bands that weren't heavy at all. And
when you talk about booking in town,
wherever we played, they would pair us up with Vegan and Phoenix.
Yeah.
That
maybe because the name sounds like a rockin' name. American Android, double A. Yeah. So I can see how they're just they're basically booking your bill based off name compatibility, right? But not necessarily sound compatibility. Yeah, so it'd be interesting if you were to book your show once you get to vinyl already, right?
Right.
And then book like 2 other acts to perform with you on stage. Who are the acts that kind of fit your style and
like
stuff?
in Tucson?
Tucson or all Arizona, whatever. You got like friends. I mean, you still talk with Adam Bruce, Emergence?
Well, that's how I got to go on that Grand Canyon trip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's my brother, man.
Is he like some kind of like what ranger for the Grand Canyon? How'd you get hooked in?
He lives in Flagstaff, so he's connected to that rigger community up there. So he had planned a trip. He does like an annual trip with his family and friends.
Yeah.
And somebody couldn't make it. He's like, I got 2 more slots. Like, I know this is a week and a half away or something like that.
And you're like,
and I was like, I thought of my son immediately. Like, this could be like a coming of age trip. And then I've been dying to get back to nature, like really connecting to nature because we're so busy all the time.
Right.
And I didn't know what I was really getting into.
Yeah, because how many miles through the Grand Canyon is it?
180. It was 8 days.
80 miles.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. The river goes 180 miles through the Grand Canyon.
Oh, it goes further. Oh,
wow. So did you start at the Grand Canyon?
We started at Lee's Ferry up in Page.
Okay.
And then that's over by like the Horseshoe Bend.
Yeah.
And then that took us all the way down until we got airlifted out at a certain point.
Do you get to have a soup pie?
Well, you don't, but you get to where it enters in as the Little Colorado into the main Colorado. So it's called the Confluence.
Yeah.
And the cover of my album of Through Line is a picture I took on my iPhone in that very spot. So that's like that's not like AI or anything. Like I was there taking that picture.
Right.
And I took that picture because some developers trying to install a gondola from the top of the rim in that area just so that they could ferry people down to like restaurants down there so they could eat and check out the view. But they would have to put their shit all the way, take their shit all the way out of. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right. I had to dump. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have to take everything that's processed on their back up. Like it's just this sacred site,
right?
You know, and it was like the mouth of the through line.
Yeah, that seems terrible. Did they stop that, or is that still something that they're trying to?
It did get stopped, but you never know what's happening right now with the public lands for sale now.
Right.
The Department of the Interior Canada guy who's running that is like. So you never know.
Yeah, we did talk about it because that was part of the bill, which the bill, of course, yesterday passed in the Senate, but it still has to get passed through the House. But in that, they were going to sell like public land, like Sabino Canyon and Mount Lemmon, right? Which obviously is bipartisan. Everyone in Tucson's like, F that. Well, last I heard, they took that part out of the bill and protected some of these kind of state parks. And then I didn't even think about Grand Canyon, but yeah, definitely there's got to be some part in that. And we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
It is scary to see what might happen through that. And of course, when corporate interest comes in, like BlackRock and stuff, then forget about it. Then we're not going to be able to get any of that stuff.
Private equity is like owning everything. I mean, our business gets letters every month from private equity.
To try to get bought out?
Yeah, about bought out. Like, and stuff like that.
And you're just like, no, what is a
that's
number,
when a company,
though?
That's how a company dies,
Yeah.
That's how a company dies. But Adam was the reason I got to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Now, when you went through, and you're like a canoe, 180 miles, right?
It's not quite a canoe. We're on a raft. And that raft actually, there's some hiking in there.
Yeah, some hiking, but on a raft.
Because you do like 30 miles one day, 12 miles the next day. Like it depends on, and they stagger it out based on whatever rapids you're having to conquer or whatever keynote areas in the canyon you should really see when you're in there, because nobody's there.
Yeah,
it's completely empty, and when you're in there, it feels like you don't belong there either.
Yeah,
like it's a very purifying experience.
Yeah.
How did you feel physically afterwards? Did it just
kick your ass?
Yeah, I mean, it took the beating that I got at the 24-hour race, like that lifestyle reality check.
Yeah,
like it took it to the next level. And I met one of Adam's friends, was like this fitness guy on the trip. And I was just like, how does somebody look like this guy? Like, it's remarkable. And he's like, I just do this routine every day. And he showed it to me. And that with eating, like and riding the mountain biking and stuff, like supercharged like me physically. I felt like I was on the right track.
So you have a routine? You have a routine to keep you fit? I'll ask you to show me after the show.
Yeah. It's not really taxing.
Yeah.
I mean,
give me the easiest way to be fit.
Once you develop the strength and you start getting the endurance.
Yeah.
And the endurance is great on all areas of your life.
No, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're hanging out here on the podcast broadcast. When we return, we're going to get Carlos and Jesse set up to do some performances here for us on youtube.com/beefvegan. So you can join us there for that. Throughline is the name of the album from Carlos Arzate and the Ghost Notes. And you can find that wherever you stream music. And just a reminder. So join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. Be back after music from Finger 11 on Rock 102.1 KFMA.
I'm so sorry I said the S word, man.
Oh, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't beat yourself up. And that's what I have the dump for, So there isn't a podcast that goes by with the guests that, something doesn't slip out because we get so comfortable in talking.
Sure.
We're legitimately shooting shit, talking about a bunch of stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, I'm just so fascinated about all this stuff, And,
no, you're really dialed in. Like you sharpened up even more and more. In this.
Oh, I'm fucking good, Carlos.
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah.
I know. Every time you curse, I get confused still. And I think we're on air. Like when you first said fuck face, I was like,
I know. What I always do is I'll look down too, just afterwards, just to make sure I'm good.
To double check.
Yeah.
Is the phone on mute?
Well, yeah, we're good. Oh, fuck face. All right. No. All right. All right. So I'm going to get the microphone set up. We're going to have live performance right after this. Earlier this morning, we did our Morning Moron. And in case you missed it, it went a little something like it says, Heavy is a Crown by Linkin Park 2.0 here on Beef Vegan Presents. I said my name twice. Sweet. All right. It's now 6:14. Time for your Morning Moron. Let's do it. All right, let's get right into it. Now, we've stated this before, but it's worth reiterating, especially before a holiday weekend. Any kind of drunk driving scenario is automatically going to make you a morning moron, right?
Yes,
you should never do
please
it.
don't do it.
Yeah, especially in a day and age when ride shares are so commonly available, okay? So with that said, there are people out there that can get DUIs, but take it to an extreme level that make them super morning morons in a way, like the drunk driving hoarder of sorts, the one who is afraid to litter the streets, but not collect as many beer cans as they can inside their vehicle while they drive it around drunk. It's a rare case, but it does happen from time to time, and it happens.
Appreciate the effort.
Kinda, yeah. It happened again here in California, like a little north of San Francisco. Okay, some idiot got pulled over on Sunday after a cop saw him swerving around the road. So he was intoxicated. And they knew he might be drunk because it looked like his car from the outside, looking in, it looked like his car was loaded with empty beer cans, right? So they're driving, they're like, and kind of looks like he's just got hundreds of beer cans in his car. So they spotted an open can of Bud Light in the cup holder, and then they found, once they pulled him over, 70 empty cans of Bud Lights floating around his SUV.
Wow.
Yes. He's just a litter bug inside. I mean, just imagine. Inside the SUV, it's got to smell like ass. It's gross. And it's all Bud Light, too. Grosser. Now, they lined up the beer cans on the hood to share the photo online, and they counted them, like
99 bottles of beer on the wall.
I immediately started
like
thinking that. Yeah. 99 bottles of beer on the car, 99 bottles of beer. So they counted them. 73 of them were there. And there were also 7 25-ounce tall boys. So you know that this wasn't all in one drive, right? He was accumulating this. This was part of his pattern. He'd get in his car, crack open a beer, tall boy, and then go to his next destination. So he is a habitual drunk driver.
So when he would drive around, he'd be like, catch me if you can.
No, I don't know if he said that pun. If he did, extra felony for sure. Now they breathalyzed
Lock him up.
Yeah, he was more than 3 times the legal limit, to nobody's surprise. They arrested him for drunk driving and driving on a suspended license. That's also not a surprise. And it turned out it was suspended because here's the last non-surprise of another recent DUI charge. It's one of those situations where, you just got to make sure he never gets in a vehicle. Hell, he can't even look in a vehicle. He shouldn't even be able to order an Uber. It's walking for the rest of your life for you. But at least he didn't litter. I think that's the good news. I'll show you the picture real quick of the 70 cans on the SUV, which is like a Nissan Frontier. It's not too fancy. But,
Oh, that's nice that they stacked him up,
Yeah,
Kind of pleases my OCD right there to see that.
Yeah, they did it for the gram.
It looks nice.
Yeah, it got the clicks. So yeah, but anyways, for collecting all of your felonies just in one handy location and while driving around drunk is definitely going to make you a morning moron. All right, we are back here, and we're going to record some of these tracks as we get a live performance in studio. It's been a minute since I've had a good live performance, and Carlos always delivers. And strum that guitar real quick, Jesse, because listen to this. You're going to hear a little reverb on his acoustic guitar, but we don't have him plugged in at all. It's amazing. Yeah, so this is this is something I swear to God I've never seen before. I'm like, that sounds like there's a little reverb on there, and he's like, there is. I'm like, what? He's got something kind of like attached to the back of the acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it's called the Tonewood amp.
Tonewood amp, yeah, which gives it kind of like an electric sound just acoustically through the whole of the acoustic guitar. Which we're in the future. If you couldn't tell, is it AI too? I mean, shit.
I'm not even playing.
Don't zoom into the fingers. There's going to be too many fingers.
Yeah, he's going to have 7 fingers. And look like a Simpsons or something. All right, let's get right into it. In studio, I got a very special guest, Carlos Arzate. Just released a brand new album called Through Line by Carlos Arzate and the Ghost Notes. And again, am I saying it right, Carlos?
Nope.
It's different every time.
Carlos Arzate.
Arzate. Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Kendall can say it for me.
It's tough last name. It's tough for folks.
Arzate. Carlos Arzate.
No, you added an extra syllable. Doesn't count.
I think you got it.
I got a pass.
Okay, fine. Carlos Arzate and the Ghost Notes is the name of the act that you can find wherever you stream music. Through Line is the name of this beautiful album. 10 songs on this full album. What's the song you're going to perform for us right now, Carlos?
The first one is going to be a song called Right Now because it's about urgency.
Excellent. Well, let's hear it acoustically live in studio. Carlos, take it away.
1, 2, 3, 4. The day I saw my soul's leave my body and drift into the sky. It felt just like it was yesterday. Still so far away. And summer comes and goes, but in the end comes fall. There I was, floating into the sky, so high, so high. And there I was, floating into the sky, so high, so high. Woo. Summer, it comes and goes. There's never been a time like right now. And this is your chance right now. You're alive for right now.
Yes, acoustic music. Carlos Arzate, and the Ghost Notes. That's the album, or that's the name of the act. The Through Line's the name of the album that you can check out wherever you stream music. Excellent job there, Carlos.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to do another one here in a second, and we're going to get back on the air as well. So I recorded that for KWSS also. So bam. Nice.
Man, I need to warm up a little more before.
No,
that.
you still were able to hit some of those high notes too. And I'm like, oh, look at that. I was like, I know. Before 10 a.m., you know?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah, no, but it's just sounded great.
Hey, it's easier to do when there's electric instruments around you. You know?
Oh, yeah. You hear, so you think you're going to do your record release at Brickbox? We had the owners of Brickbox in studio. They actually upped their sound quality, their sound there, because they got donations from Rialto.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just in there on Saturday night.
Yeah. So did you notice the sound? Like the bass was hitting, everything else?
Yeah. It was like some hip hop in there that was happening. It was definitely.
And you
bassy.
probably felt the bass. Yeah.
For sure,
So
for sure.
they loaded up. They got, I mean, their sound system is far more than they need in that room, right?
Full space.
Yeah, that was 100% donated by Rialto, which is super kind of them. Rock 1 2.1 KFMA, welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. As we're hanging out here with Carlos and Jesse, they just performed a song for us, and they're going to perform a song for us going into the commercial break here for a little encore as we're live on a podcast broadcast. But I was talking about Brickbox because last I got to hang out with you was Miss Olivia's album party was at Brickbox, and since then they were able to kind of build up the sound system there. But what's great about them that separates them from like every other venue that I've ever come across in this entire state is that they're so artist friendly. So when you do your album release party, if and when you do it at like Brickbox, and you say you charge a cover $10, then guess how much you get of that at the door?
$10?
$10, dude.
Wow.
100%, dude. They don't take out costs for sound and everything else. And I mean, I think it's a terrible business strategy, but it's so good for the artist. And and then if you wanted to do a free show, then they work a back end deal with the bar. So like literally pick your poison on that. And for a venue, for a music venue to be so artist like supportive, it's always worth mentioning and stuff. So I could see you tearing up at that stage or really any
I don't
stage.
think I've ever played in that building once, even no matter what what it was.
You got on stage for Miss Olivia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you did that. And so, but the sound system is even better now.
Man, she's so fun to sing with.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Yeah, that was a fun show for sure. Right. So Miss Olivia and the Interlopers, right? Yeah. Jesse, do you play with them too?
I know them very well. I will play.
It's funny you should say that because he should be playing with them because they do these. They just did a cover up thing last weekend where they covered Soundgarden.
Oh,
imagine Miss Olivia singing.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
It was amazing.
I love those cover shows too. I want to put something together at the Annex or something that's kind of like a I've done Foachella before. I don't know if did you perform at a Foachella of mine up there?
I don't think so, no.
But this one would kind of be like folk, like kind of fake, where it's just like all cover band. Because look, we can't afford Limp Bizkit, right? And Nirvana's passed away, right? But we can get bands that do sets like that.
So it'd be like this band plays this artist.
Yes, like a whole festival of like tribute acts in a way, and that's the party. So it's like, hey, let's build our ultimate festival, but obviously under a shoestring budget where we have talented people, emulating these artists, recreating these moments, and then we have our own kind of thing.
I think the only thing is there used to be a thing called Great Cover Up.
Yeah,
everybody always wanted to play it. Everybody always was submitting. It was a big local thing that raised money for the Tucson Musicians Health Alliance.
Okay, nice.
But organization of that is the toughest obstacle. Just like organizing with all of those different people.
Yes, and getting all the musicians on the same page and stuff.
Be taking that to the next level. I think that would be awesome if it pulled off because I think there would be a lot of willing parties.
Sure. Well, maybe something we'll bat around. I throw out the idea in the universe and then see if it accumulates, and we'll see. All right, let's get into another live performance here. So we got Carlos in studio, Carlos Arzate and the Ghost Notes. Yes, thank you, Kendall. And with that, you could check out the album Through Line anywhere you stream music. A beautiful 10-song album straight out from the old Pueblo, so it captures the sound of the Sonoran Desert. That's the best way I could describe Carlos.
I would also say a Sonoran Tom Waits. Is that a
Ooh.
compliment? Because
That's-
that's what I'm intending it to be.
Right on. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up because I do an annual Tom Waits cover at Christmas
Oh.
on KXCI. I probably shouldn't mention that.
No,
but
it's fine. They're a
and
nonprofit
they-
station. You
they
can show
hire me-
love to KXCI, dude.
for like the last 8 years, I've sang Christmas Card from a Hooker in Minneapolis
Oh, wow.
live on their show.
Ooh,
Nice.
I gotta
my,
check that
my
out.
son's like, you should record that. You should record
Yeah.
it, and you should have that song. But
You should add that as a bonus
Yeah.
track. Well, if you ever release that album where you have, the burnt, what was it called? Into the vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the sacrifice
Yeah.
snare drum.
Yeah. If you ever do that, then you could have a bonus
Grounded
track on there.
creosote, yep.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be all the time we have on the FM side. We're going to have Carlos play us out going into a commercial music, and you're going to be able to hear the whole performance on the podcast broadcast. If you want to join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. So what's the song that you're going to play us out on?
This is the last track on the album. It's called Bad Seed.
Yes.
Yeah, and it definitely can resonate with plenty of folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get right into it. And thank you guys so much for listening to the show.
Thank
As
you.
always, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast broadcast, youtube.com/beefvegan. But for that, turn it up. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Carlos Arzate along with Jesse, Carlos Arzate and the Ghost Notes with Bad Times. Bad guy?
Bad Seed.
Bad seed.
It's all good.
Almost stuck the landing. All right. Take it away, Carlos.
Something doesn't rhyme. You can block it from your feed. Give in to your needs. Let go of the bad seed. Feed the monster inside of you that you saw inside me. The mirror is the place for accountability. With words so sharp and deep, heart begins to bleed. Make the pain so real it comes out the other side. If you're not burning bridges somewhere, you're barely alive. You're barely alive. I know you want to be the best flower on the scene, making mountains out of sand, then feeling buried. Running faster, but you won't get very far. You can't help it, baby, it's just who you are. Just a bad seed. You're just a bad seed. You're just a bad seed. You're just a bad seed.
Check that reverb.
Stunning.